So today we will see like table calculations or window functions. Okay. So what is the meaning of table and what is the meaning of window? So for example, assume that I have a region in sheet and assume that I have sales in the sheet. So whatever the data I have in the sheet or whatever the data I have in the sheet is nothing but a window or it is nothing but a table actually. So we are going to perform some calculations within this window or within this sheet. Okay, so just let me repeat. So whatever the data I see in this window, in this sheet, that is called a window or a table. So in this table, for example, I have 4 rows of data like that. Okay. So first we will see uh, basic Tableau, basic window functions or table calculations. Okay. So first we will see what is the use of last function, first function, and index function, and size function, and we'll see lookup function. So first let me tell you what is the meaning of last function. Simple. In this window or in this sheet, I have 4 rows of data, right? So because of some requirement, I want to show the 0 to the last row, 1 to the last but one row, 2 to the next row, 3 to the next row, like that. So my main goal is I want to identify last rows. So if you want to assign 0 to the last row, then 1, 2, 3 like that, right? Then we can go for last function. So I'm just creating a last function here. Just name this calculation as last here. So this last function will not take any arguments. So it will not take any arguments here. So simply we have to use the braces only. Just click on OK and just search for the last function calculation. Just double click on it. Now you see, so this last function will assign 0 to the last row, 1, 2, 3 like that. So it is this last function is useful for us to identify last rows of data, last one row, last 2 rows, last 3 rows like that. So I have a scenario like that. I want to show the last row in the sheet. Okay. So if you take a region here, it may be confusing. So what I will do, instead of region, I will take order date. See, for example, now in this window, I have only one row, right? Because of that reason, my last function is showing only 0 to the last record. So we can easily identify last record in the 0, last record in the window using last function. So let's drag the order date into the row shelf. Now you see, I have 4 years of data. In these 4 years, Tableau automatically arranges these years in a ascending order 19, 20, 21, 22. So now what is my requirement is I want to show the latest year sales. So latest year means I want to show the always last record here. So how to identify the last record here using last function. When the last function is equal to 0, that is nothing but a last record. So for example, in future, when you open this, for example, assume that in the data, we have 2023 data also there. Assume that it is in tomorrow or day after tomorrow, when you refresh the data, 2023 also coming. So in that case, what will happen is this sheet will show 2023 here and this year will be coming in the last row, right? So 0 will be assigned to this last record automatically by this last function. So if you want to show the latest year always in the sheet, when the user open this worksheet, right? If you want to show the latest year, then you can use this last function here. So of course, we have other options also. Uh, Especially we can use date functions, but wherever possible, go for window functions because date functions uses some calculations and all those. So better we can go for window functions, which may improve the performance. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll simply go to my last function here. I'll just simply click on filter option. So at least and minimum and maximum, I will choose 0 only here. So that when you click on apply here, it will always show the latest data. In the next year, for example, if the data in the data 2023 is available, right? automatically this sheet will show the 2023 only. No need to modify this filter again and again. No need to modify. For example, I want to show the last two years of data. Send zero from 0 to 1. I want to see like that. Just click on apply. Now I can see last row and last but one row, which is last 2 years of data. Okay, so this is one of the requirement we will use this last function in real time. Now, when you apply filter on this last function, right, that will be automatically appear in the filter shelf also. So whatever, so wherever you apply the filter, right, once you apply the filter, that will be visible in the filter shelf. So I'll go to my filter shelf. I'll remove this filter, last filter from the filter shelf, so I can see all the rows of data here. Okay. Now let's see one more requirement in the real time. So you see here for the year, the next level for the year is like quarters, right? So simply click on this plus symbol. Now my Tableau will show for each year I can see the all the quarters data. Now what is my requirement is I want to show in the each year I want to show the latest quarter. So for 2019, Q4 is the latest quarter. For 2020, Q4 is the latest quarter. So like that, for each and every year, I want to show the latest quarter data only. Now what I have to do here is, so my last function, you see, my last function keep on assigning 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So irrespective of the dimensions, what I see in the sheet, irrespective of the dimensions, it will be keep on assigning 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. But now what I want to do is, I want to modify this last function so that for each and every year, for latest quarter, I want to assign 0. For each and every year, for the last row, I want to assign 0. So what I do for that purpose, what I will do is, I'll go to this my last function drop down here. Let's click on drop down just to go to the compute using option. So for example, assume that in the compute using option we are not finding some useful information here. If you think that it is not useful, this computing option, then we can go for edit table calculations also. But for now, just go to the compute using option, just click on the pane down option. Now you see, when I click on the pane down, what is the meaning of pane means? So here is the first dimension, right, in the row shelf. So this entire year is nothing but a pane. This entire year is nothing but a pane. This entire year is nothing but a pane. So this is nothing but pane actually. So my last function is assigning 0 to the last record in the each pane. In the each pane, it is going to assign 0 to the last record. Now what I will do simply, I'll come to my last function again, click on the filter here, just choose the minimum and maximum as 0 only. Now you see, in that way I can see the latest quarter in the each year. Okay. If you want to show the last two quarters, then just simply make it like 0 to 1. Just click on it like that. Okay. Now I will tell you one more option. For example, in some cases, this compute using option may not be useful for this purpose. Or in that case, what I can do, I'll go for edit table calculation. Now in the edit table calculation, a window will be opened here. Now you see, by default, pane down we have selected, right? Because of that reason, Tableau will highlight pane in the yellow color. For example, it will tell you that your table calculation is applying for this yellow color pane. Like that, it is showing that pane level, it is simply showing us that this is nothing but a pane. For a sample, it is showing 1 year only here. One pane only it is showing. But now in general, yellow color highlighted means it is a pane. So in this level, my table calculation is working now. Okay. Now what I will do, I have to modify this in such a way that, like, so by default it will be table down actually. Now what I can do, I can go for specific dimensions. Now in the specific dimensions, we have to make sure that in the row shelf we have year first, right? So here also year should be first. And in the table calculation, in the row shelf, I have quarter is in the second place, right? So here also I should see the quarter in the second place. For example, sometimes this quarter may will appear in the first place. But if you go to row shelf, I have year in the first place, quarter in the second place. So we have to make sure that this order also should be same order as you see in the row shelf. So what I will do, I'll simply drag my quarter next to the year. Okay. So you see, whenever you see this dark black color line, right? At that time, you have to drop your field. Okay, just drop it like that. Now, select both of these two. Select, just check these two, year and quarter here. Now, I want to apply my last function for each quarter, right? So, so at the level, you can select quarter here, and restart means I want to restart my last function for each pane. That is for each year, I want to restart my last function from zero onwards again. Just click on select year here. So restart every means, I'm telling you, restart every means here we have selected year, right? So it will go to first, it will take 1 year and it will assign 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. And when it go to the second year, right? Again, this last function will restart from 0 again like that. So that is the meaning of restart. So we have to um, we have to understand that requirement and we have to select at the level and restart every options we have to select. So just forget about this order, sort order. We'll come to this sort order a bit later. Now you see, I got the same answer. I got 0 for last record in the each year. Now we can simply filter it to the 0. Just go to the last function, just filter it to 0 only. Okay, like that. Assume that, for example, if I go to my last function, if I go to compute using option, here I am seeing only order date only here I am seeing. Why? Because year is coming from the order date only, quarter also coming from the order date only. Because of that reason, here I can see only order date only I can see. Now, if I remove quarter here and if I see, when I remove the quarter here, my last function is appearing in red color. Why? Because when we are using the edit table calculation, right? In the edit table calculation, at the level we are selecting quarter, right? But now we are removing that quarter from the row shelf. In that case, this last function is, because of that reason, it is appearing a red color. Okay. So now what I will do? Now simply drag one more dimension. Like let's drag category into the row shelf. Now go to the last function drop down. Now you see under compute using option. Now here I can see two options. Here I can see two dimensions, category and order date. Okay. Earlier I can see only order date only because year and quarter both are coming from order date only. Because of that reason, in that case, this compute using option will not work perfectly. Maybe you can select pane down at that time, or most probably we can go for edit table calculation. But this time in computing option, I can see category and order date, right? Now, to assign 0 to the last record in each order date, I can simply select category here. So at the category level, I want to assign a 0 to the 0 using my last function. So just select category here. Now you see, when you select category there, that is nothing but at the level means that is a category we are selecting, and restart is nothing but by default to the year here, like that. So hope you understand. Just to practice it for some time, you will understand. Okay. Now let me clear this sheet. Let me clear this sheet. So in a similar way, just drag the order date into the row shelf and drag the sales into the text here. Now we will see one more function which is called first function. So we have already seen last function, right? Let's drag last function, just double click last function. This will work in like this. You see, when you drag the last function into the sheet, right? Now what the Tableau will show is we are using last function only here, but you see the label it is showing is last along table down. Why it is showing last along table down? By default, compute using will be selected table down here. Okay, because of that reason. If you change anything here, right? For example, compute using you can select cell, right? Now you see it will change to last along cell. Like that, it will change automatically. So in some cases in real time, sometimes you want to rename this, right? Simply right click on this, just just click on the edit alias, and you can say latest year. Like I'm just telling you, you can simply rename in this manner. Now you see, I can say latest year like this. So just I'm just going 2 steps back. Now, similar to the last function, I have first function. So the name itself is indicating that we use first function. See, this is the main important thing actually, not the first function. The important thing here is we have to understand how the compute using option and how the edit table calculations are working here. Why? Because if I go to any function in this entire window functions, right? Same process. Whatever the function you will take, all the window functions will follow the same process. The same process will be applicable for all the functions. So because of that reason, it is very important for us to understand. So first function means very simple. If you want to identify or if you want to work with the first rows of the data in the window, right? Then I can go for first function. What the first function will do, will assign 0 to the first record, then it will assign -1, -2, -3 like that. It will keep on assigning negative numbers. So last function will assign 0 to the last record, where first function will assign 0 to the first record. It is in a reverse manner actually, but the first function will assign -1, -2, -3 like that actually. We already know 0 is greater than -1, -2 like that, right? We already know 0 is greater than -1, -2 like that, negative numbers. So if you want to show the only last first record, right? That is a, if you want to show the lowest year, right? Then I can go for first function here. But I am telling you the complex requirement here. My requirement is I want to show the first record and I want to show the last record. So I for this use case, I will use first function and last function in a single calculation. So I'll open a single calculation here. So I let last equal to 0. Why? Because I want last record only. Now I have to go for R condition. Now I will use my first function here. First equal to 0 I will write. So what it will do, it will, when you are using R condition, both the conditions will be executed in the output. Okay. So last equal to 0 we will get, or first equal to 0 also we will get. So it is a calculation 12. Just click on apply. So drag the calculation 12 into the filter shelf. Just select the true here. Now we see, I can see the first record and last record. Okay. So whatever the calculation, if you write some calculation using window functions, right? Then for all the window functions or window calculations, when you click on this drop down, maybe that calculation anywhere in the sheet, you can see computing option and edit table calculation options you can see. Okay. And one more important thing here is how to identify that calculation is using window functions. Very simple. If you see this triangle symbol, up triangle symbol, that is nothing but that calculation or that field is using window function, window calculations or window function options, window calculation options. Okay. Now you see for sum of sales, here it is not showing the triangle symbol. That means for this sum of sales, we are not using any window calculation. So for example, if I go for my sum of sales here, if you use any quick table calculation or add table calculation, these two are coming under window functions or table calculations. So for example, if I go for window quick table calculation and if I select percent of total, you see I got percent of total here. And as we are applying the window functions here, it is showing up triangle symbol for the sum of sales calculation. If you want to clear the window function or window options, just go and simply click on the clear table calculation. Okay. Once you apply this quick table calculations or window functions, then only you can see that clear table calculation option. Okay. Give me a second. So, okay, so I'll tell you, I'll just remove the calculation 12 from the um, window here, okay, from the filter shell. Now you see, I want to keep the first two records here. First two record means I want to keep 0 and -1. So what I will do, I'll simply go to my first function, just click on the filter here, just select -1 to 2, like -1 to 0, so -1 to 0. So click on OK. Or what you can say, like first function should be greater than or equal to -1, like that. Okay. Now I'll tell you one of the most important requirement scenario in the real time using this last function and first function. So I have a customer. So we have seen this requirement using condition option actually. So wherever possible, avoid the condition option. Why? Because if you use condition option, then we have to go for a context filter also. If we want other filters to apply on this sheet, right, then we have to go for context filter option. So wherever possible, try to avoid condition option and use the last function or first function. So now what is my requirement? Just drag the cells into the text here. Now arrange it in a descending order or ascending order. Anything is fine. Just go to descending order or ascending order. Now my requirement is I want to show the top 5 customers. So to show the top 5 customers based on the sales value, we have used the condition option earlier. Now instead of using that option, we can use first function here. So whatever the first function I have written earlier, I can use the same function in this sheet also. You see, first 5 records means from 0 to -5. Okay. So what I will do, I'll go to my calculation field. I'll simply write my first function should be greater than or equal to -4. -4 means greater than or equal to -4 means it will give you -4, -3, -2 like that. So it will generate true false calculation. Just click on apply here. Search for calculation 13. Drag it to filter shell. Just select true here. Now you see, I'll see the top 5 customers based on the sales value. Okay. Now, if the user is asking that he want to change dynamically this top 5 customer. For example, when he select 6 here, he want to see the top 7 customers. When he select 10 here, or when he select -9 here, he want to see the top 10 customers like that. If you want to, he want to do that type of thing here. So what we do, as the -9, -6, as it is a manual entry, we can create parameter. You can create integer parameter and we can replace that parameter here. But you see, it is very strange for the user to select -9, -6 like that, right? So what I will do, I'll simply modify this calculation. Remove the minus here and put the -1 here, minus here. Okay. Now, so instead of using now greater than or equal, just click on apply. We'll see what will happen. So now you see, we're not getting the same answer. Okay, then use the less than or equal to here. Now I got the top 5 customers again. I'm just remodifying that here. So, but you see, when the user select 4 here, it is showing top 5 here. When he select 4 and it is showing 5 here, user may confuse. When he select 5, he is expecting top 5 only. But when we select 5 here, it is showing top 6 here because we are including the 0 also. Now what I will do, I will add +1 to the first function here. Or what I'll do, I'll simply go here. I'll simply add -1 here. Okay, just click on apply. Now you see it is showing top 5 customers. So I'll create a parameter here and I'll replace this 5 with that parameter. I'll replace this 5 with that parameter. So in the parameter, if you select 5, it will show top 5 customers. He select top 10 here. In the parameter, it will show top 10 customers like that. So hope you understand how to create parameter and all that. I'll show that in the first class. It's in the parameter class. If you don't know, just let me show you one more time here. Just create a parameter. This should be a data type of integer. Why? Because in the calculation we are using 5, 6, 7, all those are integers. So I can say current value is 5 here, and You can select all option here so that user can enter any value in the parameter. Just click on OK. Remember, this is a parameter file. So show this parameter file to the user as a type in option. For the parameter, we can see type in like that, right? Now go to my calculation. So the calculation may be calculation 13. I can say. Just replace this file with the parameter file. You select parameter file here, just click on apply. So whatever the parameter value you will give here, that will be replaced in the calculation automatically, and the values will change automatically in the sheet. Now you can remove the first function from this measure values. We need not to show this first function in the sheet here. So you can remove that here. Now when the user select 10 here, you can see the top 10 here like that. Okay. Okay, let's assume that we are showing top 5 only here. Now, my next requirement is I want to show the top 5 customers and bottom 5 customers. Okay, I want to show the top 5 customers and bottom 5 customers. So what I will do, I'll go to my calculation 13 here. You see, it is already, the view is already arranged in a descending order, right? Because of that reason, last 5 records will show the bottom 5 customers. So what I will do, I'll modify my calculation here. I'll apply simply R condition here. My last function now should be less than or equal to 4. Why? Because we already having 0 also, right? 0 to the last record, right? Because of that reason, you will get this one also. Just click on OK. Now you see, I'll see top 5 customers and bottom 5 customers. For this in general real time, we are using condition, we are using top option. So we are completely avoiding the top option here. Okay, sorry, maybe I told you condition option earlier. Sorry, you have to use the top option to show the top 5 customers. And what is the limitation of this top 5 customer is at a time we can show either top 5 customers or bottom 5 customers only we can show. Either we can show top 5 or bottom 5 only we can show. But using the first function and last function, we can show top 5 customers and bottom 5 customers at a time in a single sheet. And one more option to show the top 5 customers and bottom 5 customers in a single sheet is using sets. So I did not told you about this sets here, but I'll tell you in a sequence manner. Using top option, we can show either top 5 or bottom 5 only in the sheet. But using sets, we can show top 5 and bottom 5 at a time in a single sheet. We'll discuss this a bit later. But these two will increase the performance, maybe decrease the performance. So go for this last and first functions. Hope you understand. Okay. Now let's remove the filter here. Let's take a small example here, region. Let's take a region into the row shelf here and drag the cells. Any questions for you? Just let me know. Let me stop anywhere. We'll discuss. Now you see, when I click on the last function, by default it will show 0 to the last record actually. So this last function by default will not consider region or sales. Simply it will assign 0 to the last record. But sometimes it is my requirement that if I take all these regions, what is the highest sales we have? West is having highest sales. For that I want to 0. I want to assign 0. What is the next highest sales? For example, here 8 is the next highest sales. So I want to assign 1 to this one actually. So based on the sales value, I want to assign based on the sales value, my last function should assign integers here. So for that, what I will do, I'll go to my last function drop down here, go to edit table calculation, go to specific dimensions here, and go to the sorting order. You see till now I can see 0, 1, 2, 3 in a sequence order. Go to the sorting order, go to the custom option here, go to the maybe descending or ascending here, go to the descending or ascending, just select here sales. Now you see my order is changed automatically here. For the lowest sales, maybe it is assigning 1 here. Sorry. For the highest sales, it is assigning 1, 0. Next highest sales assigning 1. Next highest sales assigning 2. Next highest sales assigning 3, like that. So if you want your sale last function or first function to be dependent upon any measure value, then you can use this sort option. Similarly for first function, last function, index function also. Okay. Now let's see about this index function. So index function also will not take any arguments. So simply we have to use the open brace and closure braces only. It will not take any arguments. So we already know what is the meaning of index. It will assign 0 to the first record. Sorry, it will assign 1 to the first record, 2, 3, like that it will keep on assigning. Just click on OK. Just double click on it. Now you see it will assign 1, 2, 3, like that. But in sometimes in real time, right? We want to assume that this is a serial number. We want to drag the serial number just before the region. Okay. What I will do, if I try to drag the index function, which is a measure here, we cannot place measures before the dimensions. So we discussed this already while discussing about discrete versus continuous. So index is a measure or a continuous field. Continuous fields cannot be placed before the dimensions in row shelf or column shelf. So first we have to convert them into discrete. Now it will be converted into blue color, then drag it to before the region. Now in that way it will work actually. In this way it will work. Okay. For the index function also, I can see compute using option, edit table calculations, and all those I can see. Okay. In real time, in real time, in just remove the region here. Assume that I have a customer name in the row shelf. See, in real time, sometimes in the sheet, we have to show the large number of records. A particular dimension or combination of dimensions contains large number of records. So in that case, to improve the performance, if you are opening a sheet, right? If you are opening a sheet which is containing 1 lakh records, it will take huge amount of time to open that sheet. So in that case, what we will do is we will use this index function, just filter this data. So let's show it as a type in only, maybe a slider, single value slider, not single value drop down. Okay. Now what I will do, instead of showing this as a filter, I will show my index function, which is in the form of a like measure continuous field. For continuous fields only, we will get minimum value and maximum value options like this. So just click on the show filter here. So in that case, what we will do is, so the user is asking, so to improve the performance, what we will show is, we will initially show the top 100 records only, first 100 records only, like this, using this first function. So in that case, like maybe this is called page navigation or something like that. So if you want to restrict the number of records to a particular 100 rows, 200 rows, when you first time open the dashboard, right, then we can use this index function. So as I told you, I can write a calculation field also here, like index here. It should be less than or equal to, I can say 100. But as a 100 is a numerical value, you can say it as a, you can make it as a, you can make it as a parameter. So what I will do here, let me show you, index greater than or equal to 0 and index, sorry, I'll just try to show you index less than or equal to 100. So what it will show, initially it will show the 100 records only. But you see, I want, okay, let me tell you completely. So we have created a parameter here, right? So instead of using these values, so I'll use parameter here. You see what the parameter will do. I'll use the same parameter here also. Control C, Control V. So what it will do is, when I select the parameter phi as a 100 here first, okay, I think you can, I don't want to go in bit detail actually. So what I will do is, like, if the user selecting 100 here, okay, I'll do minus 100 here. Okay, so like that. So when the user select 100, this will become 100 minus 100 0. So we will get from 0 record onwards, and for this we will get here 100, right? So when the user select parameter in a parameter, when he select 100, he can see the records from 0 to 100. For example, when the user select 200 in the parameter, now this calculation will become 200 minus 100. So he will get from next 100 records to 200 records like that. So this is the one of the useful calculation, or it is one of the most important frequently asked interview question also. So if they are asking you these type of questions, means if you are able to tell these type of answers, they are compulsory going to select. Okay. So just let's see how it's just we can work on it. So I don't want to see here I am using the same parameter two times in the single calculation. Okay. Now let's go to another thing here. So it's already become 16. Okay. Now let's go to size option. Very simple, like let's drag category and subcategory into the sheet. Now we'll see how the size option will work. So size is also a window function. Just double click it. You see, by default, any window function by default will use the option like table down, table down. So it will simply show you how many records are there in the entire sheet. So, and that will be displayed across each cell, each row in the sheet. Okay. Now what I can do, my requirement is I want to see how many subcategories are there within furniture like that. So now I want my size function to be restart for every category. So simply go here, compute using, you can select subcategory. Why? Because you want to count the subcategories, right? So when you select subcategory here, it will count the subcategories and it will restart for every category automatically. You see, there are 4 rows, like sizes like that, 9 like that it will show. So you can go for computing option, and as I told you, go for edit table calculation, specific dimension, drag the subcategory below the category. Why? Because in the row shelf I have category first, so drag the first category here, select these two. At the level I can select subcategory, restart every, you can select category. Now you see, I got the same answer when we use the compute using option and selected the subcategory there. Okay. Now, look for one more important function in Tableau, which is called lookup function. Lookup function. So I want to tell you simply in a simple manner. I don't want to make it drag. See, in general, in real time. So if any person starts a business, right? They want to compare how much sales they have this year comparing to the last year. So they always try to have this type of comparisons in real time. So if you want to compare, like I want to come, that is what in other way, what is the meaning of this is, I want to compare current row with the previous row. So 0 will be always representing a current row. Just remember, 0 always represents current row, and -1 always represents previous rows, and 1 represents next row. 0 current row, -1 previous row, +1 next row. And -2 means previous to previous row. +2 means next to next row, leading rows. Plus means it will show, it will take leading rows. Minus means it will lag previous rows like that. Now, what is my requirement is, I want to compare current year sales with the previous year sales, and that too for each and every year. So what is my requirement is, I want to display previous year sales across current year sales. Similarly, I want to show 2020 sales across 2021 sales like that. So I want to represent previous year sales with previous year sales across the current year. So in that case, I go for lookup function here. Lookup function. Just when you type lookup function, you see it is showing two arguments. We have to provide two arguments here. First argument is expression and second argument is offset here. So whenever you see some argument within this open braces, right? Within this open braces, that is a optional argument. You can provide it or no need to provide it like that. So, but in most of the cases, if you want to look for the previous rows, right? We have to provide negative values to the offset. When you provide -1 for the offset, it will look for the previous record. If you provide +1 to the offset, it will look for the next record. Okay. So expression is, I want to look for previous row sales. So the first argument expression should be always sum of sales. And I want to look for -1 previous year. Just so calculation is valid here. Just apply. Just click on, double click on it. Now you see. So in the current year, it is showing that this is the previous year row, previous row sales. It is a previous row sales. It is a previous row sales. In the first row, it is not showing anything here because we don't have any previous row to the 2019 because of that reason. Okay. Now, if we want to compare, okay, now I want to compare my 2022 year sales with the first record. Okay. Just assume that I want to compare each and every year with the first record here. What is the first record? How to identify first record means 0. Sorry. So what I will do, first record means we can use 0 here. Sorry, we can use first function here. Why? Because first function will assign 0 to the first record. Because of that reason, if you want to compare each and every year with the first row year, then we have to go for first option here. First function we have to use. Just click on apply. Now you see whatever the value we have in the first record, the same will be shown for each across each and every year like this. And if you want to apply, if you want to compare each and every year with the last record, right? Then just simply use the last function here. Now you see each and every year last function here. Okay. So you can go for compute using option also, and you can select cell, order it, something you can select here based on the requirement. See, once you get the sorry, lookup function, just let me look up function here. So just take -1 here because I want to compare each and every year with the previous row, previous year. Once I got the actual sales, I got 2022 actual sales and previous year sales, right? Then I want to find out the difference between these two. So what I can do simply, sum of sales means current year sales minus lookup means previous year sales. So this is the difference between the current year and previous year. So in general, to find out the difference between current year and previous year, these type of requirements, generally we can solve those requirements using date functions. But this requirement is not possible with the help of date functions. Using date functions, we can compare 1 year with the previous year only, or 1 year with the other year only. Not with the all years with all the previous years, we cannot compare. In that case, we have to go for this lookup function. Okay, just click on OK. Now you see difference, just drag it here, difference. Now you see, I got, this is a difference between the current year and previous year like that. So all the table calculations will not depend upon any other dimensions most of the time, unless you apply edit table calculation or in the compute using, unless you select a particular dimension here. Unless you select a particular dimension here, these window functions will not depend upon any other dimension. See, if I remove the order date here and if I drag the subcategory, you see my lookup function and difference function both are showing blank here. Why? Because we have only one record in that window and we don't have any previous record here. That's why when you drag the subcategory into the row shell, now you see the same lookup function and difference functions are working for each row in the sheet. Now you see wherever Wherever you see positive means current record sales is greater than previous record sales. Wherever you see negative means current record sales are less than previous record sales. Now, if it is your requirement that if you want to show all the negative values in a red color, these negative values are because of difference function. You can simply drag the difference function into the color shelf. Now, as we discussed already, go to edit colors. We want only two colors only. Stepped colors to advanced, I can select 0 here. It will be acting as a center point here. Less than 0 will be given red color like here, and greater than 0 will be given this blue color. You don't like blue color, click on it, select red color here. Sorry, green color here. Just click on it. Now you see all the positives will be given green color and negatives will be given red color. And even if you remove the sum of sales and lookup function, still this difference calculation will work here. Now it is a text color here. If you want to show the background cell color as a red or green, as we discussed in the initial classes, just create a dummy calculation like min of 0 or min of 1 and make this calculation 15, just drag it to the column shelf. Automatically background cell color will be highlighted in green or red instead of text color. You see text color is gone now and you can see background cell color. You can refer to the conditional formatting class. We'll come to know all this. Now, one of the most important requirement for this thing is they want to compare current day with the previous day sales. So I'll simply drag the order date into the row shelf. Now go to the exact date here. Just go to the discrete option. Now you see we are comparing the current day with the previous year day sales. Wherever you see negative, current year sales are less than previous year sales. Wherever you see positive, current year sales are. Now, if you want to show the up and down arrows here, right? Now what I can do, I'll simply again drag my difference function, or sorry, I'll go to my marks card. Here you can select shapes option here, shape. Now you see, go to the shapes option, sorry, just fit. Go to the shapes option and click on the shapes. Now drag the difference into shapes now and okay, we'll get it. Okay. So what I will do, I'll let a simple calculation here and the difference should be greater than or equal to 0. So it will provide a two outputs here. This condition is satisfying, that will give you true, else it will give you false. So this is a calculation 16 here. Drag this into shapes and I can see two shapes. Wherever we have null, we are seeing this shape. False means this shape, true means this shape. If you want to edit the shapes, just click on here. Now go to the palette here. You can select filled colors. You can select false here and down arrow, true and up arrow. Just click on OK. Like that. Now you see I got up and down arrows with the green and red colors automatically. Okay. So if you don't like this approach, what I can do, I can go to my just remove the shapes here. Just go to automatic here. I can go to just telling you I can go to my Google Chrome. I just simply search for apparel Unicode symbols. You have to search for Unicode symbols. I'm just telling you how to search. Just go for Unicode search symbol. For now, I'm just taking some random symbols here. Just to go for Unicode here, and you can copy this one. Just simply Control C. Or if you come down, maybe somewhere you will be seeing copy option. You can do you can select copy. You can do copy, and now come to the Tableau here. Come to the Tableau. Now go to the difference here. Go to the format option. Go to the number formats. Okay, just go to the custom option here. Okay, just in the custom option, what you can see, 0 means it will show only integers only, it won't show any decimals. Now before 0, paste your arrow here like this, paste your arrow, then use a colon here, then -0. Minus 0 means negative values. For negative values, I want down arrow, right? Okay. Now just go back, just search for negative arrow. Sorry. Yeah, like I don't want to show everything. I just go here. Just copy this down arrow, something you can copy. You can come to the format option. Before minus 0, paste your symbol like that. You see, whatever you paste, that will appear here. If you paste that after the 0, it will appear in the right side like this. If you want to provide some space here, you can use space between 0 and your symbol like that. I don't want to go in bit again. So here you have to use the colon here. Okay. Not only in the formatting option, if you open any calculation, for example, in the calculations also you can paste your symbols. Unicode symbols only we can paste. Now you see, I have pasted this symbol like this in the calculation fields. So for example, uh, if sum of sales greater than or equal to 0, then I want this symbol in the output. Just make it end for the purpose I am saying. If so, you see, just drag instead of sum of sales, just drag the difference here. If difference is greater than or equal to 0, or maybe less than or equal to 0, then down symbol. Else you can use up symbol actually. Else you can use up symbol, but for the purpose I'm just taking the both symbols are same here. Just drag it. It's a calculation 7. In the marks card, go for automatic option. Sorry, go for shapes option. Directly drag this calculation 17 into the shapes here like that. Okay, it will give you based on the calculations. Okay, just give me a second.